Hello, what's up, everyone? How you guys doing today? And today I'm gonna be sharing a really quick video. So we're just going to discuss about the difference between user interface design and user experience design. This is a topic that a lot of designers want to talk about. A lot of people have asked me about it, and I think it's important to bring it up and talk about it. So the difference between those two is actually very simple, right? So all we just have to think about is, on one hand, user interface is basically designing, like the name basically like explains it all. You're designing an interface, and an interface is basically a system that people can interact with and get feedback from. An interface is how we interact with technology. There are many kinds of interfaces, and basically an interface is what the human being interacts with. So it's usually a screen on a phone, or a screen on a computer, or recently voice. We have started to talk about how to design around voice, which would become the next interface. So for now, the interface we primarily use as humans are smartphones and computers. So they are screens. They have screens, and a user, a UI designer or a user interface designer knows how to design for screens. They know how to prototype for screens. They understand animation. They understand color. They understand visual hierarchy. If you haven't watched my video on visual hierarchy, you should probably click the link above or the description below to watch it. So user interface designer basically understands, how to use colors, how to design beautiful layouts, how to make things look very nice and make it easy for the user to see what they're interacting with. They make the buttons clear, they make everything they design all the visual elements of a screen. So from everything from like the way your gaming menu looks like in FIFA to the way your phone apps look like in iOS, that's basically the job of a user interface designer, right? So on the other end, which is more on the back end, is the user experience designer. So the user experience designer is designing the kinds of experience the user would feel when they interact with the application or the software or the thing that is being designed. It doesn't have to be limited to an application. It could be a system that a human being has to interact with. So the user experience designer's job is basically trying to understand human psychology, human needs and wants, and human motivations, and basically with that understanding, creating a system that lets the human interact with your software or your system in a way that is pleasurable to them and achieves the result you want them to achieve. So the user experience designer is more like you're trying to empathize with the user and design from where the user is coming from. For example, you can't really example, if you're trying to design for people that are color blind, you have to understand, oh, this is how they see colors and this is how they want to interact with it. So you have to keep all those things into consideration. The user experience designer is basically more involved with the user psychology and the user psychology during the interaction with a system. So the two roles are drastically different and they require drastically different skills, which is why I believe in 2019 the two roles would be more distinct. Like go and look at the days when people would say, oh, I want a UI UX person. Like I don't think that is valid anymore. So I believe those two roles would be broken down into two separate roles, which is a product designer, which is basically a UI designer that also understands how to code and understands the fundamentals of user experience, and a user experience researcher, which is basically someone who undergoes in user experience research and also user experience design. So I believe those two roles will be broken down, and in another video I would share what I think is what the future roles of design is. So if you want to watch that video, let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, share with your friend that doesn't understand the difference between user interface and user experience, or share with your boss that doesn't understand the difference between user interface and user experience. They are two completely and very important factors to take into account when doing any design work. It's not proper to hire one person to handle both roles, because they would always be better at one or the other. So either you see a designer that is good at user interface but is not so good at user experience, or research or documentation, which is also part of user experience, or you see someone that is really awesome at user experience, they know how to research, they know how to document and all those stuff, but they don't know how to design user interfaces. And everyone really has like what they prefer. Like I prefer user experience, but that doesn't mean I can't design an interface, because I can, but I just prefer doing user experience design. So hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like and share, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.